Rage Boy Redbeard here, and this is my very first World of Tanks Noob to Pro tank review. And today I'm going to be reviewing the Wallet Warrior, the Tier 8 German heavy tank, the Lowe. Now, the Lowe. Oh man, this thing has a very bad rap. It is known as the Wallet Warrior tank because, like, people like myself, I suppose, in a certain way, buy this tank when they have no idea what they're doing. They're maybe tier 5, and they've had maybe 500-600 games under the belt. They're like, oh, I want to go up to a tier 8 game. You know, I had one Top Gun and I'm suddenly feeling so great. Go out, open the wallet, spend $51 US, and get this machine right here. Now, I bought this on not a summer sale, it was, I don't even know. It's about a month ago. There was a sale going on. This thing was like 26, 27, 28% off. I don't know. I spent 40 bucks US. So I saved roughly $10. I have no idea what the percentage was. But I purchased this on sale, as I buy all my premium tanks only when they're actually on sale. I have the SU-100 right here, which I just picked up for $10 US, and this thing right here, which I also picked up for $10 US, the Panzer IV-S. I will be reviewing those tanks as well. But today we are on the Wallet Warrior. Yes. And I love this tank. It's amazing. To me personally, tier 8 armor is marginal at best. The gun is fantastic. But more importantly, I'm going to focus right now on why. Well, actually we'll compare it to just other premium tanks, because there are, I believe, 4 or 5 other tier 8 heavy tanks or tank destroyer, medium tank, that are out there that you can purchase for roughly right around the same price. Those would be, let me get here and find it, the French have one. It is the FCM50T. We're also going to have the Russian, I believe, IS-6, here it is, and of course the German Lowe right here. You can also buy the Jagdtiger 8.8 centimeter. I almost purchased that, but I didn't. So, these are the 3 main competitors at tier 8 that you'll have an opportunity to purchase. They're all around the same exact price, I believe $51 US. And so let's go over and see why I chose the German Lowe. And no, I don't have a bias towards German tanks. The IS-6 was actually very good, but I really wanted to go with the FCM50T just because I wanted to be in a different country and kind of start my line down the French. But I didn't. So, quick comparison, the German Lowe has 100 hit points more than the IS-6 and 150 more than the FCM50T. As far as tonnage, the Lowe is almost 40 tons more than the IS-6 and roughly 37 tons heavier than the FCM50T. So it is the slowest. It is also the heaviest tank, which is fantastic for ramming. Horsepower, the FCM50T has the best at 1,000 horsepower. The IS-6, the worst at 700, and the Lowe at 800. Now, as far as overall maneuverability, the Lowe is obviously the slowest. It's the heaviest with the worst horsepower per ton. The FCM50 is the fastest. Now, what the IS-6 brings to the table, it is really just the most well-rounded, most balanced tank, whereas the FCM50 is a quick, fast, marginally armored heavy tank, where the Lowe is the one that you hold down and ride out the storm. So, hull armor is the exact same for the Lowe and the FCM50, while the IS-6 only has 100 millimeters of hull armor. The IS-6 also has the most turret armor, whereas the FCM50 and the Lowe are the exact same. Now, that's the main comparison I want to get into. Other than that, the signal ranges and the view ranges, the IS-6 and natural Russian tank, I don't know, the average Russian, you know, it doesn't have very good view range or signal range. The Lowe has decent, and the FCM50 has the best of the three. So, quick comparison of what you'll be going up against, or what you have to choose from. So, let's go and look at the gun. This is the 10.5 centimeter, 105 millimeter KWK L70. Let's see here. Where are you? Let's go over to the IS-6. And the FCM50T gets one as well. Alright, let's line them up right here. Now, in my opinion, the Lowe has the best gun overall. Now, has the worst fire rate out of all three. The IS-6 has a slightly better with its 122 millimeter at 5.13, and the FCM50T has the best at 8 rounds a minute. Overall, the accuracy is best on the Lowe's KWK at 0.33. The IS-6 has the worst at 0.46, and the FCM has a decent 0.36. What really separates these is the penetration and alpha damage. The Lowe arguably has the best at 234 and 320 alpha damage. The IS-6, not very good for tier 8, 175 millimeters of penetration, but it has the best alpha damage at nearly 400. The FCM50 is the best of both worlds. Quick firing, good penetration, decent alpha damage. The real thing with the FCM50 is that overall DPM that it could possibly get if all the conditions are right. The only issue I have with essentially the IS-6 and the FCM's guns are, well, the FCM can only see tier 9. The IS-6 can only see tier 9. The German Lowe can see tier 10. So when you're in a tier 9 max, this is okay, and this is actually pretty good. When you're in tier 10, yeah, that's when you need those premium rounds at 294 millimeters penetration. You can run into E100s, and I have. So, the FCM50 and the IS-6 get premium matchmaking. The German Lowe does not. So, what makes this tank so good if they all have the same armor? And I'm not going to bring up Tank Inspector here. I'm just going to kind of go over it real quick because it's not hard to see. The German tank is overall well armored. Even in the rear, it has 80 millimeters all around, with a slight angling. The sides are 100 millimeters, which isn't too bad, and the turret is 80, but it is pretty well rounded. But the way to really use the Lowe is to keep your front pointed at the enemy at all times. As you can see, this nice gun mantlet is very, very strong, nice and sloped. Even the turret cheeks are very well sloped. It is very difficult to actually hit the side of a turret unless you're looking at the tank like this. When the turret is actually pointed at you, there is very little you can actually penetrate on the turret front unless you have a very, very good tier 9 or tier 10 with a very high penetration gun. The Commander's Cupola right here is a very, very small target to hit. Very difficult for most guns, especially the IS-6 with its nearly 0.47 accuracy. Weak spots here, there really is not much overall in the front of the tank. The tracks are massive, which definitely helps when you're angling. There is no machine gun port, which is nice, no weak spot for that. The lower glacis is very unangled, as you can see. It's only roughly, I believe, 20 degrees, with this nice little ring right here, which is easy to penetrate as well, because it is only 120 millimeters. This front part is front top mantlet is pretty decently angled, but it is only 120 millimeters, which anything tier 8 or higher can really penetrate the front. So, what you need to do is always hide the lower glacis, and when you can, just cover the entire front section with only your tracks essentially being visible for your, so you can only see the turret and the tracks. That's what I'm trying to get at, because anything can and will penetrate this tank except when you're right at the front, which is quite nice. So now I've kind of done a quick review of the tank, as my mouse just for some odd reason does not feel like working. I don't understand why. Okay. Technical difficulties. What I do have on this tank right here is a large caliber gun rammer, defense, and super heavy spall liner. This is actually comes in handy because artillery loves to shoot at you because you're very slow. But this thing weighs 92 tons, so when you do want to ram a tank, you can take almost no damage. And I have rammed IS-6s for 280, 290, 300 damage at times, and only took in 20 damage in return. As you can see, I am using my Tiger 1 crew in the Lowe. Why do you use this? Because it's a premium tank, and you can get, essentially, you can just keep swapping out your crews and get double XP or triple XP if it's one of those weekends. So I've taken a crew for my Tiger 1 that was roughly, from my VK 3601H, to put in the Tiger, converted it. I believe they were right around 78% trained. Put them in the Lowe and the Tiger, kept playing, and already roughly a week later they're at 116%, and I'm 21% into their extra abilities. So that's the amazing thing about the Lowe. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the fact that this tank can see tier 10 matches, so be careful. You know, the way you need to play this is very carefully. It's not a brawling per se tier 10 or tier 8 heavy tank. This thing can get penetrated quite easily. So the way I play this, and that's the only way I really play it, is using this gun right here. Laying back, kind of like you played the Tiger, actually, is you really can't count on the armor at all. You just use the good gun that this has right here, the WK-L71, long 88. Use that amazing penetration and good alpha damage with amazing accuracy. I never even talked about the accuracy. 0.33 accuracy, 0.29 aiming time, not too terrible at all. So let's go look at a few replays and see how it actually handles in game. So this is Kharkov, and if it looks familiar, that's because it is one of the gameplays. In fact, my last two World of Tanks uploads have been, I made my intro off them, and I like this map. I like Kharkov. The Lowe is actually pretty decent, and so tier 9 gameplay, got an E75 on each team, IS-8 on each team. It's actually very decent, overall balanced gameplay. Only Lowe on the team, a couple T-34s, T-32s. Those are the main competitors, I say, a lot of the times, a lot of the tanks that I run into as far as my main competitors. E75, IS-8, they're going to be tricky, but luckily this gun does have 234 millimeters of penetration, so it would not be that. It's I don't know, as long as you aim your shots very well, or at least well, you know, you'll do pretty decently. So as I somehow cannot seem to get, there you go, turn the tank. Oh man, and I still hit it. But yeah, T29, man. Bad day to be that T29 driver, but what would you expect, honestly, just rushing off by yourself? So T54 takes him out, or actually no, wow, it was the FCM50T, the French tier 8 premium heavy tank. So you'll kind of see that there are other options out there, and a lot of people do tend to buy other tanks as well. So you see the FCM definitely has more mobility than the Lowe. You'll see right here, you know, I'm averaging 20 kilometers an hour. It is a slow tank. It's kind of like a Churchill in the sense that you're not going to get anywhere quickly, so you're going to definitely have to choose your path and definitely stick to that path. Otherwise, you're not going to you're either going to get outflanked and killed, or you're not going to have any shots at any enemies. Especially in a tier 9 match where things can go wrong very quickly, since I am not top tier. Yeah. So I went down towards I don't know, that huge courtyard or whatever it is. That's the main route I normally take, just because put this 0.33 accuracy from this gun to use from this 105. So maybe kind of wondering, like, what am I doing over here? Because this was my very first gameplay. This very first, I purchased it late one night. Didn't play it at all. Just went on the gift shop, purchased it, and this was the next day of my very first gameplay. And you keep seeing me looking over to the left because I know that there is an IS-3, and another tank over there. What was it? He'll pop up. There he is. Okay, yeah. So T-54E1. I knew he was over there, so kept looking over and then see the FCM-50T gets taken out, and that is the that's the resided by the FCM-50T. It just doesn't seem to be able to, I don't know, have a chance at bouncing as well as the Lowe does. Though it does have that mobility, he definitely didn't do himself any favors by turning the rear of the tank towards that T-54E1. So I'm over here, and this is what I'm doing right here. I'm kind of held down right here. He pops out again, and all he has to shoot at is my turret. That's the only thing that the turret front with the nice sloping, the gun mantlet. He pops out again, and wow, yeah, he takes a beating. Somebody over from the south also put a shot into him. So our T-54 over there. So we got 3 of them against him. T-54, Leopard prototype, and a Lowe. So they're gonna go and just zoom off, go out, flank him. There's absolutely no way I'll ever be able to stay with him. So I decided to go over to where this last what was it? T-95. Sorry. Wow, I'm blanking here, guys. I apologize. E-75. There he is. So there's an E-75 and a T-95 over here. And so I decided to go, you know, poke at the bear. And see, so very easy to penetrate the side of an E-75 right there. Unfortunately, yeah, I didn't expect to have both of them, and I didn't, more or less, I didn't expect the T-95 to be pointed at this direction, or at least pointed near me. So, T-95, this gun is accurate enough. As I try to angle right there, he still penetrates. This gun is accurate enough to hit the weak spots on T-95, but he is on full health, and his gun is much faster, has a much faster rate of fire than mine. So I take out his tracks, give myself a chance to get held down over here in the wreck of this enemy. What is this? T-34, T-29. I can't really remember. They both look so similar to me. So, but as you see here, I'm putting just my turret once again. As I take a pot shot at that IS-3, just track him right there. See, I hit my gun mantlet right there. It did not bounce. It actually hit and stuck, but as a piece of wood actually stops my shell. It hit me right in the gun mantlet, but it didn't penetrate. So, like I said, it's very difficult when you're held down and you have the front of the Lowe, and all you have is the turret front to shoot at. It's very hard to penetrate anything other than tier 8 or below, because the gun mantlet is so very well sloped and has all that extra spaced armor. And so I'm looking at the mini map here, trying to see, and I see that the E-75 is right on the other side of the building. So right now I'm just worried our T-20 friendly T-29 just died from the E-75, so I was very worried that he would come over, and so I'm trying to make sure that both sides, my front and rear here, from whichever flank they're going to come from, I can kind of get held down, side scrape enough. You can see where that IS-3 took a shot, hit my gun mantlet, and did absolutely nothing. And so I see the T-95, the tortoise here, finally comes around, and he takes a nice, well-aimed shot. Here, I'm trying to decide whether or not, see, he bounces right there. And I was going to take a nice, well-aimed shot at his commander's hatch, decide to the fast medium coming through, I guarantee the pen, and T-95 takes, as I try to turn my turret, takes that opportunity to take a shot at me, hits the side of my turret. E-75 comes around and puts one into me. I take him down to 7% health. And we do end up winning this game. It's 12-12, and our IS-8 and Waffenträger end up getting us the win. Wasn't going to stick around and have you guys see, since this is such a long video for me. But I wanted to make this review the correct way and the best way I could possibly do that, is to give my opinion not only on the tank's characteristics, kind of show you everything that this compares to, and then finally give you some gameplay to see how this works. And this was so far my best Lowe gameplay to date. No Top Gun on this one, nope. I always say, I'm destined to have 5 kills constantly, and then somehow either get killed by artillery or by other means. And so we're on airfield here. Top tier, though there is a 110 on my team. This is actually very, very good matchmaking for me, and for a Lowe in general. Is you know, not too many tier 8s, just 3 on each team, and then the rest are tier 7s and 6. This is actually a perfect game for a Lowe driver who knows what he's doing. And so, as I hit a rock there, oh, very well camouflaged rock right there. I'm just looking at my team and I'm like, wow, so many VK361001Hs, ARL44s. Oh, I do not miss the VK3601H. I do not. That 88mm gun that it has is just horrendous as far as penetration goes. And when you can see your tier 8 games, I just remember I would just be ineffective if I didn't use gold rounds. So I was going to go up there, go up on that ridge, and I noticed that we kind of have a lemming train going down here to this heavy ridge right here. This KV2 pops up, put a nice shot into a low damage roll, 280. My 110 and DK take the IS-3's attention as that pesky little comet comes around, and as I'm looking at the comet, T-34 pops around the corner and puts one into me. So I was going to go on that ridge because we have a lemming train up here on the heavy ridge, and the other ridge to the south we have exactly 2 tanks, and artillery are the only ones watching that flank. So I know that our flag right now, our base, is definitely, if the enemy team is smart, they can easily outflank us and we will lose. But I'm just praying to see how many tier 7, 6s, and the tier 8 heavies that are all in this corner. So I know there couldn't be too many going down on that side of the flank. So if you're ever to VK3601H, just don't. So why would you shield the side of your tank? There's at least a chance. I mean, it was a T-34. There's no way that VK could even penetrate, let alone, you know, probably would never bounce a shot. As I killed the KV2. Yeah, just don't show the side of your tank. T-34 comes around and I wiggle just enough. My tracks eat the shot. Now it's just me and this other VK that's on the ridge to my right, and we're going up against a T-34. This guy T-34 has roughly the same gun as far as DPM, and he has much better turret armor, but roughly the same hull armor. So trading shots here. He puts a monster hit, takes out my engine, and the one great thing I have yet to mention about the Lowe is it has fantastic gun depression. I mean, one of the better, if not one, I'd say the top 3 or 4 tanks as far as above tier 5 that as far as gun depression goes. It's fantastic. What I'm using right here is I'm using this sloping right now. I'm essentially protecting my lower plate and angling more of my frontal top plate. As that pesky, oh my goodness, this pesky comet driver just loved to, he was just making mincemeat our entire team, making everybody look silly, including myself. But I'm using this natural sloping of the hill to not only help angle my, oh look at that side of the turret of T-34, take him out. It helps to angle my top plate even more and hide my lower plate. So really all the T-34 had to shoot was my gun mantlet on the front of my turret, which is why he was trying to aim for weak spots, but he never actually fired because he could not find one. And so got a Tiger 2 coming out, pushing forward on the left flank, and I was going to go help him out, and then this M6 comes around. I have my tank nice and angled here, angling this to the side right there. He doesn't take a shot. I don't know if he was reloading or he was just scared, intimidated. I have no idea. As you can see here, angle, angle, angle. I cannot rely on the front of my tank, especially that lower and upper plate. I can only rely on the front of my turret, so I'm going to angle the best I can. I have enough side hull armor that this is a very good tank for side scraping, so I'm kind of just protecting my, and I don't know what this M6 is driving. I don't know if he just forgot that I was right there, but he takes a shot, tracks eat the shot. This is second time tracks have eaten the shot, which is fantastic. Take no damage. And the reload on this gun, this 105, it takes roughly 10 seconds with the crew that I have right now, and so it actually has a pretty decent fire rate. So it starts out at about 5 rounds a minute, but with a good, well-trained crew, with the vents and everything, it roughly boosted up to about 6 rounds a minute. And so take out the M6. Team is capping, but one of our other VK 3601H went back to try and reset the cap, so everybody leaves. Take a shot at the KV-1S, take him out. So now all we have over there is a T-32 and a Comet that are over in our cap. So
I see that in the minimap the Comet has left the cap. He's probably coming over here, but I have a friendly ARL, Tiger 2, and myself, so I'm not really too worried about a Comet. I'm more worried about this IS, and the IS takes out our friendly ARL 44. Hellcat's coming around the flank. IS sees it. I'm coming around the flank. I have not been spotted by the IS, so I'm completely invisible. IS is more worried about the Hellcat, and I take a nice shot. I was going to aim at the front, and I was like, oh no, you're going to be the side of your turret, and I pick up my 5th kill. So, and here's this Comet driver. Props to him. He was a fantastic scout, not only for his team, but he was giving me, more importantly, just huge fits. And so, and I get killed by artillery. Ruins my day. No Top Gun. Just a Tiger 2 and a Hellcat left. They're both capping. Hellcat's running back to try and reset the cap, but he's not going to be able to. Not even going to spoil alert. T-32 gets the Top Gun by killing the Hellcat here in a moment. Our team was by no means good, but this was 3,000 damage done, so just a fantastic game by myself. I think really showed the strengths and weaknesses of the Lowe. Low mobilities, low, pretty much just don't even rely on mobility with this tank or your armor. You just kind of have to pick your battles, make sure you're only showing your turret front, and just pick apart the enemy with this amazing 105 that has an amazing accuracy, pretty decent aim time, and really good fire rate. So at 6 rounds a minute, it's not too bad for a tier 8 heavy that has roughly 320 alpha damage. And so, yep, just waiting to lose. Comet and I just exchanged some nice little. I give him his props. He thinks it's hilarious. So he was definitely a good player right there. So didn't get the mastery, got the first place, but we got 68,000 credits, high caliber, first place. The Lowe is an absolute amazing machine. It gets a horrible rap because it is the wallet warrior, and a lot of really bad young kids go out, spend their first amount of money, and go get this thing. But in the right hands, in the correct hands, the Lowe, based pretty much on his 105 mil gun, is just ridiculously good, and it can just completely outplay practically all tanks that it comes across. And so, in my opinion, out of the 3 main tier 8 premium heavy tanks, it is the best. It's got the obviously the best gun. You know, the armor isn't bad at all. You know, you just gotta keep that lower glacis and this slower front just protected and side scrape as much as you can, and the Lowe will be the best tank. So, in my opinion, it is worth it. Thank you so much for watching. Just always remember, lower glacis, gotta protect it. So until next time, I will see you on the battlefield.